Hey, I'm jumping in here. This is Dion real quick to talk about the designers. My favorite part of the show, designers. The Merge Fashion Show 10th anniversary series is happening on February the 16th. New York Fashion Week is happening right now. And February 16th is when our 10th anniversary show will happen. And we are going to be featuring three of the four designers that'll be a part of the show. The Emerge mission is to give a platform to Black designers from across the country. And this is my favorite part. This is what we're here for. I mentioned before that I'm not a fashionista. I'm not a creative like that. I just admire the work that fashion designers create for the runway. I am at awe of them. And then that's my mission, like just to really give them the platform. But tonight, I'm so excited about the designer we're about to I'm about to interview tonight. She is Terri Stevens of FunkinBeautiful Designs. She is the reason why I started the show. And so I will talk about that. And she's going to be, and she's my good friend. We grew up together. I'm going to put her on. Everybody loves Terri. Hold on. Hey, Terri.
They love me because I'm crazy. That's
oh boy, everybody hold on to your seats because it's Terri.
And you never know what's coming out the mouth. You never know.
It's about to be crazy. Like I mentioned before, I started the show. You were on Project Runway.
Season 5. It's such a blur because they did me dirty. So yeah.
That was the season with Kato. Who was on that one?
Jarrell, Stella, Blaine, Suede, who's spoken like third person or something. Kinley.
What year?
And the winner was Leanne. She made a beautiful blue that wedding dress. Yeah.
What year was that?
2009. 2009.
Yeah. So Terri was on Project Runway, and when the show aired, we had did a kickoff, like a viewing party in Chicago.
Yeah. Good. And I remember how you were like, Lord, don't let this girl get booted off on the first. You was like, we got all these people. It's going to get quiet. It's going to get quiet.
Right. This is a short-lived, but we did a viewing party in Chicago in River North somewhere, and to kick off you being on Project Runway. So after the show, you really kept quarantine or whatever it was at the time. You couldn't tell us. I was biting every week. I watched Project Runway. I was dying to know what is going on.
The best kept secret. I got to keep it quiet. I mean, number one, you have to sign a contract and everything, but no, you got to keep them guessing. Got to keep you watching. If you knew, you wouldn't watch.
So what happened when Tim Gunn and the team came to Chicago at the W Hotel downtown?
It was the W Chicago. At that time, I was in Ohio working for Victoria's Secret. And remember, I flew in and I basically slept at Bates Designs and was making stuff. I mean, I was funky. I slept. I did everything there. Seriously, for 3 days, I was just in there sewing. And it was high noon. It was like, ooh, okay. Like Terri got to hit them pits real quick because and you know I have insomnia, so I was playing my music. It was like a house fest in there with Michael Prince, as you all see my Prince T. It was just I was getting down, and in the daytime when they would, so that's when I would work on other things like cutting out or being in the back somewhere so that they could have access to the shop, and you all would come. A lot of people didn't even know that I was in there because I basically snuck into town. And the one thing I knew is that my clothes needed a live model. Like I just said, I got to show up differently. I can't just have my garments hanging. And so I called 3 of my good model friends. Calandra was one. I'm trying to remember who else. It was 3 of them. Gigi. And they were like, oh, Project Runway. They said, we showing up and we going to show out. And they did. And we went to the W. The line was wrapped around. Like it was wrapped around. And they changed outside. We just put the bags up and they changed outside on the street at the W. And when I walked in, it basically, as you can say, I guess, changed my life. Like Tim was like, we were sitting here bored all day until you walked in. I mean, and that part you see like on the tapes that you can see on YouTube and stuff.
Oh,
You dance because I'm known for the get it.
So yeah, so when Terri went through the show, and then at the end, during that time when Project Runway ended, the finale, they did a show in Bryant Park. That's when New York Fashion Week was at Bryant Park. So she get to take one guess. I was in there.
I think you were going to be my guest, whether or not they said so or not. You were like, "Oh no, I'm coming."
Oh my!
I don't know. I think even if I had a husband at the time,
no,
I did. Didn't I have I had a husband at the time.
God, no.
I actually did. I was married at the time.
No, you wasn't. No, I'm coming because so I came to this. I've never been to New York Fashion Week a day in my life. I don't know nothing about it. I remember getting to New York, going to Bryant Park. I told this story to Fern Malice, who created New York Fashion Week, how I just went to Bryant Park and I was excited. At that moment, I was done. It was
your Disney World. It was your Disney World. And then we did all the pop-up shops and everything and all the freebies, and you were just enjoying it. It was like, oh my God.
I mean,
the energy around Fashion Week is so amazing.
The energy is crazy. And then seeing the clothes, come down the runway is amazing. And then, I was still mad that you weren't a part of that final.
You were more upset than I was, I think. Like,
I never watched Project Runway again after that.
And why would you?
I was so mad. But after that, we went to these little shows. So Terri was a part of all these little emergent shows, which, I give kudos for people. But I just didn't think they were at the level. I'm like, these talents.
You were always like, you would always be like, it's nice. And then you
were like at a bar or
you would always do this. You know how you do the lean in, your PR lean in. You was like, I can do this. I can do this.
It would be like at a bar or, just like
hallway. It would anything. But but that's the thing is like, you show where you can show. And that's what I loved about it. You may not have liked it, but I loved it. We would be in some real guttery places. And I was like, I love it. I love it.
Right. So that's when I was like, after that, I was like, oh, I have to create a show for Terri. I can do this. I was bit by the bug of New York in 2009, whatever that was. So 2010. And so in February 2011, that's when I was ready to do the show.
You were ready.
Off space in Chelsea. And it was, people loved that. Like it was, I had a big, like Emerge got into the later, but people really loved the original show, like a small white space studio.
Yeah, but I ride or die Chicago. I live for Chicago, but I'm like, stop putting the Chicago flair into New York. I was like,
that is my secret. Do not.
People want butt naked fashion, okay? People want butt naked fashion. No, none of the fluff. But you're like, I need my flowers. I need my balloons. I'm like,
don't tell people my secret. That is actually my secret. Is I put Chicago because I have an event planning company. I put Chicago into the
everything,
show. And everybody's like, this show is just so different.
Because she went Chicago, she could have did the show for $500, but now it's $50,000 because of that.
First show, I went to the ballroom, and I had to have all the chandeliers.
It was very big.
I added because Chicago, we love an award component.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when but anyway, so when after that, I was like, oh, let me make it a collective and put some more designers in it. And that's when we did Sheila Rashad. We're from Chicago. Dawn Joy.
All about Chicago, I think. It was
Dominique Auxilly.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the show. Then we honored Audrey Smalls. And I was so nervous. But yeah, so that's how I started the show. That's the history is that, is that it was for Terri.
You became industry that day, girl. You became industry.
And then after that, Terri would, help me throughout the time because I'm not a I'm not a fashionista. I'm not a creative like that. I'm a business person, PR, events. who happen to love music, arts, culture, and fashion, the way that you all create. So Terri is taught me along the way, like what fashion was, the history.
And fabrics, because she called everything wool gabardine. Like that was her favorite. That's the only.
I love when you all talk fabric.
Talk that wool gabardine. I'm like, that's actually a chiffon, but okay.
I don't even know what y'all talking about, but I love it. So Terri is the one that keeps me going, like this, I need this, like, just kind of understanding what fashion is. We grew up together. Let's say that we went to grammar school together, high school together. We've been knowing each other since the 3rd grade.
It was always in me. It was my grandma, my mom, fashion.
Oh my God. Please talk about grandmothers. And we would go over Terri's house. Her grandmother was sold. And that's how she had a big impact.
Well, yeah, because we had, how big the house was. So the whole downstairs was basically mine to create. And music, it was always music blaring. You all would be outside knocking for hours and we wouldn't hear because we in there getting it and it's loud. But that was always my creative space. So she would have all these fabrics from Joann's, and not hating on Joann's, but I always had a little bit of an elevated. So we would go to the fabric store and I would always gear towards the DKNY, the Jeffrey Beans, the Calvin Klein. And they would be like, oh my gosh. And I would not throw a tantrum, but I would just be like, well, then I don't want it. If I can't get what I want, then I don't want it. So then they would splurge and let me get the expensive $39, $100 fabric. And then the scarier part was that I would just cut raw into the fabric, like not using a pattern. And my grandmother would be like, if she had pearls on, they would be clutched and spill all over. Maybe a little bit of Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, because she was like, this girl is just cutting into this fabric without a pattern. And I would be so confident that I would do it. And when she saw the end result, she would be like, oh my God, that really looks good. You made something. So she started to embrace my freehand and eyeball sewing, which I still do today.
Oh, let me write that to freehand. That's good.
That's a good one. Okay, freehand. Her second term of.
So people don't know, like, you make your clothes, like she can make a collection in a couple of days. Like right now we're preparing for the Emerge. I'm so glad she's a part of the 10th anniversary show because she started it off. However, she's driving us absolutely crazy. And so she did a collection for when we shot her piece, because it's going to be a runway reimagined. It's not like a regular runway show. It's like a vignette lifestyle, really nice. Start seeing the footage for it. Is super hot. And then she got crazy and then just made another collection. What is wrong with you?
No, it wasn't like there was another collection. It was just like, there's more of a story to tell that you hadn't seen, I guess. I was like, because all the models were dressed and I was like, because the stylist and Cameron, like Chris and Cameron, had gone to the car and they didn't bring everything out. And I kept looking. I said, this is not even the real collection. And you were like, we have already shot the clothes. We're done.
I'm done. Like, the show is in the can and we're still I
was like, no, we got about 12 other pieces. But that's how I work. If you give me 6 months, which I've been on about this show forever. I did not start it until like the week of the show. Like, I was like, I can't.
A week of taping.
Yeah, I just couldn't. And but I did have some tailors work on some things. And that's why when we made the location Chicago is even more convenient, because I'm like, I can land, pick the stuff up. And there were a couple of issues. I'm glad I did get there early, but because I'm not there to oversee, that's the thing which you probably appreciate, because I was driving you crazy at the show. I was like, that's not my vision, not my vision.
You're driving crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but now that you appreciate it, it's a better product because
it's no appreciation of nothing. So Terri's
we about to edit.
All right. First of all, we grew up together. Her real name, okay?
Okay, let me tell you something. Don't
everybody who's watching this piece,
fade to black, fade,
who knows us, know her name, Tarina. But Terri Barbara Bates, designer Barbara Bates, who was in Emerge in 2012.
That was one of the best shows. You had dynamic. It was all black, like she and I, all black all the time. Elevated the show. It was so amazing.
Yeah, so Barbara Bates is her mentor. When we started out in the early 90s, oh boy. Terri met Barbara and became her apprentice. They have the same similar kind of style, but Terri is a little bit more youthful, more funkier. And then that's how Barbara was this is a side note, Barbara's my first client at PR because Terri was.
I brings people in, girl. Brings people in the fall.
And so I went to Barbara's studio this morning because I had to drop off your clothes for the additional shooting we're doing today. Shout out to Barbara Bates, who we love. And she was like, what is this? Like, and then she was like, so there's another collection coming in. Like, it's crazy. You're absolutely off. I love you and Barbara's relationship. Tell me about you and Barbara Bates.
First of all, is this, can this be cut? Are you editing or this is just
this live?
Okay. But not now, later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this live. It's no cutting. You gotta go.
No, but it's not airing right now.
But it's live. This is live, right?
I know, but you gotta cut.
No edit, no nothing. So you better be careful.
You better be careful.
Yeah.
We have to no, it's just like our aesthetic. I'm like, we're the same. It's one and the same. That's mama. That's mama. We think the same, we are the same. And I challenged her, she challenged me. Like, she was like, am I being relevant? Like, she's like, I don't want to be grandma. Let me know if I'm being grandma. But I'm like, you're the hottest, funkiest grandma there ever will be. And she's just a nurturer, like give and give and give. Like, she didn't know you from nobody, but she was like, okay.
Right.
Terri said.
Yeah. Because when I saw her today and I was complaining about you, she was like,
did she join in? She probably joined in.
Joined in a little bit, but then she was like, I know exactly where she is. So I was trying to get the mindset of how you're thinking right now. So she was trying to get me to understand, your perfectionism and, how you guys want, be able to style it the right way. So she did help me today to kind of get it together for me.
Well, because the show may be great, but it's not going to be the vision that someone else had. So I'm glad that we found the time, and it's, there's only one, that other situation, but we working on it. The Duran. That's that. But I called Simon. I did. I DM.
I'll tell them about the collection because Terri, I'm loving. She's the one. She's gonna bring all of the. She opens up the show. It's so much energy. What was the inspiration for your collection?
Well, me in music, hand in hand, street culture, tomboy chic. That's the DNA of FunkinBeautiful. And this show is one of the rare shows that I have not used Michael Jackson or Prince so it just was really, I love Duran, and it just kept telling me, I'm like, I need that, like, that 80s kind of fun. 80s was just fun in the 70s as it was on the verge of 80s. And nothing says that to me than Duran and that rock and roll and the way they brought supermodels into everything that they do. So it was Duran, Girls on Film. There's a version that is just ridiculous. And then the Girl Panic video. And all of that together, I was like, this is a collection. So as it started with the music and the fabric hand in hand. And as I started, like, my place looked like Sanford Arms. Like, it was just fabric everywhere. You could walk in here and slip and fall and die. And I was just like, okay, I love this. I love this. This says Girl Panic. And then everything just started gelling together. And then next thing you know, even though that was on the floor for 2 months, that last week before we had to go to Chicago and film on the 31st, it all came together. So you're gonna see furs and sequins and shine and a combination of those meshed up together. To me, I think it's a healthy merge of stuff that's not supposed together, but it goes together.
Yeah.
And it celebrates the woman. It truly celebrates the woman that knows when she steps out the door or when she's at home and her husband comes home or her friends come over, she is looking good.
Yeah.
She gonna shut it down. Like, you know, me and Mama loves to shut down someone's wedding. Like we love to, we love to enter right before the kiss and be like, and here's the outfit.
Right, exactly.
So it's gonna be a wonderful reveal. I really think each collection, I feel like it should be your best. Like with you, each production you do, each event, you're like, okay, this is the best, and then you're on to the next. And this is truly my best collection. It's so cohesive from beginning to end.
So how do people, because we have to support, everybody should support, especially if you're from Chicago or anywhere, support emerging designers, especially, you know, from the show. And Terri, you would love her stuff as soon as Claire Sumners, who's the host for the show, she
already put in orders. I'm like, girl.
We were at the taping and just trying to.
We were measuring her, like, I was like, give me her thigh, give me the knee. Because, you know, for Claire, you got to look good because she will tell. Like, is it a fashion bomb in the good way or in the right?
Yeah, so it's her clothes are so people. How can people get in touch with you?
Get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, at FunkinBeautiful, FUNKIN Beautiful. One word. Don't try to get cute with it. It's Funkin' Beautiful. One word. That's it. That's all. Yeah. And the website is going to be up and launch on the day of the show. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We go. No, but do you feel the rock and roll? Do you feel the vibe of it?
It's going to be amazing. I did give Barbara a little peek. She loved it, by the way.
Okay. The first
round. Yeah. So anyway, so Terri is also she's so good. She's out a muckety muck. She's like,
no, I am not.
Even though she's a designer, okay, she has a corporate job. Okay, so it's nothing wrong with doing your business and also having a job. So she's at Target.
Definitely at Target. Loves my Target. Everyone's favorite, the Target trap. You go in for a Tic Tac and you're $100 later and you don't know how it happened. It happens to me. I work there and it still happens. And I'm like, oh my God.
What's your position?
I'm a visual director of women's, kids, and in IT, and I've been at Target for almost 4 years. It goes by so quickly, and relocated to Minneapolis, where it has really connected me with so many people that I've worked with and friends from my past. And
what does that position mean? That when I go into every store in this world,
our department makes Target look even more beautiful. So we put product in the right locations for you to sell it and to inspire, to make you say, I need that. So when you're going down the aisle and you did go in for, say, that Tic Tac or something like paper towels, and you see something in your peripheral and you're like, ooh, I think I want that, a New Day dress or something from Wild Fable. That's my whole department. We have stylists, we have creative services, we have all these creative people that's working together to communicate it to stores and to you all.
So any store I go to, that's your team, you and your
entire department, and it's under the leadership of EDS, Erica DeSalvatore. She's our VP, and she's just amazing. And she has gray hair like mine, actually.
This is so good. So this is just a little fact that Terri is big muckety muck at Target.
Not a muckety muck, you know.
But you've worked with some big brands though. So throughout the years, I've loved Terri working at other brands. I've gotten, some perks too.
The LV, we love our Louis Vuitton, Levi's.
She's done visual directing for brands like what? Louis Vuitton,
Levi's, I was at Nordstrom. I wasn't at Gap. It just feels like I was at Gap because I've always known people at Gap. And everybody that came from Levi's came from Gap.
Levi's.
It's all inner.
Okay, what's the brands that you work for?
Victoria's Secret, Nordstrom, Levi's, Benetton. Remember old school Benetton? I used to love the layers. Louis Vuitton. And then when I lived in Paris, I worked at Colette. And then Zuli Bet. Remember, I worked with Zuli Bet, the designer, Senegalese. Loved him. And and Sears and now Target. So that's pretty much been my journey. And it's just, I love what I do. I have a passion for all these different things. So if I could just get my clothes in Target, design for a brand, even as a collab, I know they're listening. I'm throwing it all in there. Give a girl a holler, because I do have a aesthetic, and designing for a brand is different than designing for yourself. So a lot of people don't understand that. Like, everyone wants to be a designer, but when you're designing for a brand, you have to take in their aesthetic and their guests. So you can have your POV, but you have to design for a specific clientele.
Yeah.
Mass clientele.
Yeah. So Terri is the real deal. I want everybody to support her. FunkinBeautiful Designs. She's also a creative director. So if you need somebody to creative direct.
I'm still working at Bates. Like, yeah.
She still helps Barbara on shows and things like that. She keeps it real.
If I come to town, I will be cutting. And best kept secret that many people do not know, I do not like sewing at all. Like, people think
it don't matter, but you sew. You do.
No, I don't like it. I can't wait. I have to. Yeah. I do it because I have to.
I know. So yeah, but
when a little legend can learn how to stitch, is gonna be like
right quick behind you. How did you do that wall? We're about to wrap up. This is of her wall. What is it?
It's just called my wall of fame. Some may say shame, but it's my wall of fame. It's all the things I love. So it's just up there. It's frames that I've created, and every place I've been in, you've seen, I always have some kind of version of it. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller, but
designers her shoes are in frames, the boxes, so creative.
Thank you. Now, just because you may see a Chuck Taylor on there too. Now it's
yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Terri. Terri is the one who
Pay Less to Prada on this wall, from Pay Less to Prada.
Pay Less to Prada. Anything that I have to,
that's a new T-shirt. Pay Less to Prada.
Anything that I try to, I have to learn from fashion. She's the one. Every show I have to pass it through her first. Any designers that I obsess about, I'm like, I wonder, because right now I'm into Tom Brown. So you know, one year I was in Alexander McQueen. It just depends. Louis Vuitton is one, so she'll give me the history, the back, you know, how they.
And brands to discover. Like, it's not always about those household names. It's about that, oh man, people are like doing it. But Dion, you have really given all of us a platform, and I love that each time you keep pushing yourself. And if people don't know you, they better, because especially if they're in fashion. No, because you actually give them a platform. A lot of people cannot get into Fashion Week, and that's where you found this platform to create for them. And it doesn't cost them $1 billion to do it. You know, they pay a small fee, and the exposure is great. And it gets them connected to media, social outlets, and like stylist studios too. Like, they get PR firms connected with them too, so you can get your work in, say, magazines, TV, on celebs. So
yes, thank you so much. And all started because of you, because once I got off that plane in New York, and I was like, oh my God.
You were like, I'm moving here. I'm moving.
I'm done. So yeah, so thank you so much. Everybody tune in February 16th, Tuesday. You got to see Terri's stuff. Opening our show. Andre Leon Talley is opening up the runway. I can't wait for him to announce all, you know, the runway presentation. It's February 16th. New York Fashion Week is now. So Tuesday the 16th at 6 p.m. Chicago time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Emerge Runway NYC is on this post. You could just click on there and register for your tickets. Everybody gets a front row ticket. You get a front row. You get a front row. Right at your house, okay?
And your own beverage of choice. Like, just have a good time. But keep it industry. Keep it industry.
Oh my God. Okay, thank you.
Bye.